Hey, what's going on, everybody? Anthony Salcido. Welcome to the Conquer Spirit podcast, where we talk about all things conquering. Today, I want to talk about that viral debate between Ron DeSantis and Gavin Newsom. Guys, I am recording from the beautiful state of California. I love California. Born in the mean streets of Thousand Oaks. For those who know where Thousand Oaks is, you'll get a chuckle out of that. But I was born and raised in Thousand Oaks. And when so many of my family moved, originally a lot of my family is from New Mexico, came out here in the 70s. When a lot of them moved back, I stayed here. Yeah, I had a girlfriend at the time, but beyond the point, I love California. California, where else can you go to the ocean, the mountains, the rivers, the lakes? You can literally go into the snow and to the beach in the same day. The weather's absolutely incredible. I love California, but I'm concerned about California because I see that our state has grown more and more liberal. It's grown more and more woke. And what I mean by that is we see these policies taking place in California that are allowing sanctuary cities, people who can come illegally into this country and have safe harbor into certain cities. Listen, I love all people. God loves all people. I don't mistreat anybody, guys. I'll protect my family. I'll protect my house. I'll protect you if you need it, right? But I will say this, is it's bad policy to allow certain people who come here illegally. And I understand the asylum rules. I get all that stuff, guys. But we have these liberal policies that are taking, which was such an amazing state in California, and turning it into a place that's highly regulated and a place where, quite frankly, we're seeing so many people leave this state, guys. I've talked to people from other parts of the country, and they'll straight up tell me, I will never live in California. And that breaks my heart because I love California. All that to say, California as a whole is beautiful and amazing, right? There's one specific part that I want to focus on today, guys, with that debate, right? I thought Ron DeSantis did a phenomenal job. I thought he was answering the questions from Hannity. I didn't think he was ducking anything, guys. And I saw a lot of confidence in DeSantis. I saw that he was there. He wasn't going to be bullied. He had his facts, he knew truth, and he was expressing that truth, right? I felt Gavin Newsom was struggling. He was fumbling. He was deflecting a lot. Hannity was asking him certain questions. He was deflecting those questions. You can go back and look at. It's actually hard to find on YouTube, by the way. I had to actually type in special Hannity DeSantis Newsom debate, because if you just put a Newsom and DeSantis debate, it's hard to find. So I don't know what's up with that, but that's kind of weird and odd. So anyway, there's one part, right, of the debate where they talk about homelessness. And guys, if you live in California, you know how beautiful it is, but there's some areas in California, in fact, a lot of areas where you don't want to go to because of the homelessness, because of drugs, and quite frankly, a lot of the beautiful parts of California have been desecrated by bad policy, where homeless people can literally make encampments. And it's different from county to county, I will say that. In Ventura County, we do pretty good, but it still has its issues, guys. But if you ever spend time in Los Angeles, guys, I grew up going to Los Angeles. My dad's from Northeast LA near Dodger Stadium. And I used to love going to Olvera Street. I used to love going to downtown LA. They were fun spots, right? We called the place called the Garment District, or the Alley, where as kids we would go. Guys, it has gotten so bad, right? And there's a place called Skid Row in Los Angeles where it's literally lined up with homeless people. There's encampments in this area. And it's almost as if they can set up camp anywhere they want, right? And California has done these things where they've allowed homeless people to live in hotels, right? Free of charge. But if you're a homeless person and you have no job, and the only job that you can do is panhandling, you're not going to spend your time in any kind of hotel room. I'll tell you that right now. They're out on the streets. They're not even utilizing these rooms. So the point being is this one clip I thought was pretty amazing. I want you guys to check this out.
San Francisco. There's a lot of plots on that. You may be asking, what is that plotting? Well, this is an app where they plot the human feces that are found on the streets of San Francisco. And you see how almost the whole thing is covered, because that is what has happened in one of the previous greatest cities this country's ever had. Human feces is now a fact of life, except when a communist dictator comes to town. Then they cleaned up the streets. They lined the streets with Chinese flags. They didn't put American flags there. They cleaned everything up. So they're willing to do it for a communist dictator, but they're not willing to do it for their own people.
Isn't that wild? You can't deny the fact that Gavin Newsom knows this is true. Guys, again, I'm from Southern California, and we were seeing and hearing reports and hearing from people. And I'll keep these certain individuals anonymous because I don't have permission to use their names. But I remember one particular individual came back who grew up in the Bay Area, and he came back and he's in law enforcement. And he's like, I cannot believe how horrible San Francisco has become. Guys, there's people literally defecating out in public. There's trash everywhere. There's you see people walking around like zombies. Guys, it's gotten so out of hand, and there's been no real solution to the problem. And when DeSantis pulls out that picture, that poop app that shows locations in San Francisco where people have defecated, guys, it's gotten that bad. But it's gotten that bad because the people of California, if in fact voting has become, if we did have a fair election, especially with the recall election, you know, I had Larry Elder as you know, the one to come in and take over the governorship of California, guys. But if California doesn't wake up, right, and if we did have a fair election, California, you are going to see things are going to get worse and worse and worse. We're going to see more and more of this happen. And sadly, we're starting to see it creep into counties that have been, for the most part, conservative and clean, guys, like Ventura County. If we're not careful, guys, we need to make sure and ensure and hold our officials accountable. But the reality is this. I don't believe that Governor Newsom won that debate. I thought he was deflecting a lot. I thought he was defensive. You guys can go back and watch it. But it's incredible to see a man like this who has, in my opinion, the greatest state in the union, guys. California is the most incredible state in the union. I do believe it will become that again. And I was so encouraged to attend an event where there was a bunch of conservatives and Christians, where there's been prophecy about California returning to its golden years, right? And it'll happen. But right now, guys, California is under fire. California is struggling between the rolling blackouts, the cost, guys. DeSantis brought this up a lot. The cost of gasoline. I am thankful that on my truck, I have a 2015 Ram, that it takes E85 gas, right, which is made from plant-based types of foods and sugar cane. It burns faster, but it's cheaper. I get that for like $3 a gallon. So a little, heads up, a little hack there, guys, if your engine takes E85. But it's true. It's between $5 and $7 a gallon in California to get gas. Grocery stores. You can't go to a grocery store, guys. What used to cost $100 now is almost doubled. Things have gotten so expensive, and if you're a Californian, it kills you. If you're a liberal in California, you should see that allowing sanctuary cities, allowing homeless to run and rule areas, allowing for the prices of gas to soar, allowing what's taken place, guys, in our school system. Guys, there's things that are being taught in our school systems. One report that I got recently was from a young girl's dad who came to me and said, "You're not going to believe this, Anthony. My daughter was given an assignment that was actually within the theme of homosexuality. She had to do some kind of assignment that had to do with homosexuality. And the dad, being a conservative Christian, says, well, we're not going to do it. We need an alternative assignment. And his daughter was so scared, guys. She goes, Dad, don't do that. Don't do that. He's like, why? And she's like, well, if my teacher finds out that you want an alternative assignment, she's going to get mad because she actually wears cat ears and a tail. Dad, she's a furry. Guys, I'm not kidding with you. This is happening in the public school system in California. It's a travesty. Guys, unless California changes, unless we have new leadership in California, not only leadership, guys, local level, we need strong conservative Christians to take back these areas in California, to take our state back. So guys, we're coming up on an election year, but I just wanted to talk about that. California is a mess, and there is homelessness that's run rampant. And yes, it is true that all these things are happening and taking place. And for Gavin Newsom not to own it and try to deflect it and try to change the subject and topic should show and prove to all of you guys who are still supporting him that kind of leadership is not going to get the job done. Guys, I'd love to hear some of your comments. Feel free to like and subscribe and share. Keep conquering. God bless you guys.